branch off on many roads, including not play. But now this is all play behavior. Nope. So pause off, I correct, pause, go back. So she's self-regulating her own self. And the one when she let out that little bark, she self-corrected. She's like, oops, I'm not supposed to do that. She sat. I didn't do anything.
Really?
Nope. Good. See, one word, one touch, she put her feet back. No leash.
Tilly.
And so, nope. Good.
What is she
that's
doing?
too much, right? She doesn't like her disrespecting you.
Yeah.
That's
I
where
can't
the
do
problems came in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. And so it could be less about like I'm guarding you. It's a little bit of that. But some dogs are smart enough to know the rules and they get pissed off when other dogs don't have to follow them.
Gotcha.
for real.
Well, like, yeah, like,
Yeah.
and that I want to stop. I do
Okay.
not know
So-
what she can.
So off. It's not going to be taught here quickly, but
Right.
But you have
Just
to
off.
give the just ignoring is not the solution at all. You want to give. She's jumping to get what she wants. So if you think on the terms of every time she jumps up and makes contact with you, she's actually getting something that she wants. Every touch is reward. Every touch is reward. So every time she does it, she's getting trained to do it. So you have to change the pattern and offset the reward by adding
So
something
just
that
off.
she doesn't like.
This back
It could be a
behind.
squirt bottle, squirt, but you
I can
want
do
to
that.
pair you want to charge that
With the
word
off.
so that even when you don't have the squirt bottle or you don't have the leash, that it's reflexively responded to.
Okay.
Just like the mistake signal for her.
I just can't believe that. I mean, yeah, she's struggling a little to get off.
That's chicken water.
Look at it.
Tilly.
Good girl, Jazz.
So now she's proven that she's in a good mind state to meet the dog.
She is. Yeah.
But had I just let it happen in the beginning, she was all up here.
Yes, she
But
was.
what happens is now on place, up here makes her break place, which puts her back down, and she arouses and excites, and she breaks, and it brings her down. And now she's just kind of settled down. So this is the calm state we would like to go into a social situation.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And using obedience like place or sit, if they can't do it, then they're not in an ideal state of mind to do something that's like imperfect, like social stuff. If you have social imperfections going on, set up for success by calm, focused state. Give permission to be free and interact. And then if it starts to shoot upwards in an escalation of some sort, we want to dial it back down and interrupt it. Maybe we just dial it a titch. Like if she was chasing her and mouthing at her, maybe I would add a little remote which might make her stop mouthing at her or stop chasing her. If that didn't work, maybe I would call her to me. If that wasn't working, then I would hard disengage her from what she was doing with an out cue and punishment until she stopped. I could call her to place. I could call her to me for just a moment to say good girl and release her. Or I could call her to me to get a leash on and control her. But any of those things are going to manipulate the pattern. We don't want this pattern of escalation just to be gone and she's free and she can ignore us. So we want to be continuously able to reach her.
Look at how cautious Tilly
And when
is.
our words don't reach her, we got to use something she can't ignore. That's where the leash comes in. That's where the remote comes in. And she can ignore low levels, so we have to increase it. And if she's really excited, then even a higher level is low in comparison. Almost like volume in a loud environment.
Okay.
Tucking this thing back in. Well, you just want to cut this strap off
Yeah.
To the right level. Good girl.
So now I'll let her off first with the flexi lead, just because it's such a little dog. But that'll give me she has some freedom, but I still have control. And then after that, we'll let her off with no leash at all. So, yes. Good girl. And so I'm going to go allow her to interact. Well, I don't want to be given, now it's just, hey, you're going to be a cool doggy. It's all good. I'm trying to move with her so there's no leash tension.
Got it.
And we don't get wrapped around something.
What is that bowl from?
So watch.
Rice yesterday.
Out.
Ooh.
I said the word, I touched the button, and then look what she did.
Good.
So if we have resource guarding problems,
Yes.
what we have is a fixation she can't withdraw from.
Okay.
And so we want to make sure we interrupt those fixations with a real no-nonsense communication And that's when we say out. Good girl. So out doesn't require she comes to me. It just requires she disengages in whatever it is she's fixating on. So she's acting perfectly fine, so I can let her off leash if you're cool with it.
Oh, yeah.
Good girl. So it's all good. She's just doing very well. Good girl. Elevated locations in proximity to you increase the risk, increase the risk. But just so you know, she's showing no signs of fear or resource guarding.
Okay.
But
And
those
for
are
me being right
exactly. But those are out.
Off. Oh. Oh.
Good girl.
Good job.
She's cute. Good girl. That looks like a very cozy place. Oh, hi, little one.
Sorry. Tilly. Thank you.
So the
Tilly.
easiest, most simple way to interrupt jumping up is using a leash.
Okay.
So that's best for other people. She tries to jump on someone else. You block the contact with the leash.
Okay.
And that not only does that remove the contact reward, but it swaps it out for a little like annoying leash nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
So that's helpful, right? And you can say off as you add the leash pressure, off as you block with the leash, off as you block with the leash. You can increase the level of intensity on that leash bump, but being a little dog, you really don't have much room to be too intense with it.
Right. You're a hanger.
So a squirt bottle can be helpful for that also.
I will do that.
You say off and you squirt. So off, squirt, squirt. She jumps up, squirt, squirt. She'll put the pieces together that jumping up doesn't activate rewards. Jumping up activates the thing I don't want. I'm going to avoid the thing I don't want by not jumping up.
So we did notice that if Denise was sitting on something,
Okay?
that's when Jazzy was.
Be more guarding.
Yes.
Okay.
You all right?
Yes.
Out. Good. Out. No. So there's just something she was fixating on. I noticed. What are you looking at?
Oh.
And then she went and got it, and they're in the same place at the same time. And I don't know if she's gonna try some business, but I would rather err on the side of caution.
Yes.
Disengage her since she has a problem with resources, and it's at least good practice. I can now say, go ahead and have it. It's fine to do that, but I want to make sure I can, in the moment, interrupt anything. So
That's
you mentioned
true.
when you're sitting and she's sitting with you.
Yeah.
So part of it before was she didn't have self-confidence. So you were her source of confidence. And she's just kind of like stuck in a corner with you, like emotionally.
Yeah.
And so,
That's what I noticed.
so then threatening, sharing you or the removal of you or whatever it might be, she's like, get out of here. So not only being elevated, that increases that type of behavior, but being with you, that increases the type of behavior. Put it together, and then you add in all the fear and insecurity, of course it's happening. So how to interrupt it, change it, if it's starting to happen, interrupt it in the moment of building. That's what off is for, and out. But off is like, if you're sitting on something and you want her to get off, you say off, you produce discomfort until she gets off. You can use the leash to pull her off. You can grab her collar to pull her off. You can push her off. But the remote is going to help really clarify when she finds success and turns off the discomfort. Because the moment she gets off is the moment it stops. And if she gets back on, it starts again and it's worse.
Gotcha.
And you push her off again. Like shoving her off is literally like pushing her to the solution. Because the remote's on until she's off. And then the remote's off. And if she gets back on, it's back to get off. Good. So being able to claim space, kind of back to ignoring the jumping up isn't the answer. Like you want to claim space. You'll be like off. Like you can push her with your fingertips. They understand that language. That's why she's guarding you, because it works. She's claiming space. She's saying out and off to the dogs, but she can't be the one making those decisions.
Gotcha.
So,
Okay.
So you are the one to do it. And so for her to, okay, any resource guarding is rooted in the fear of losing the resource, right? So if she doesn't feel a fear of losing the resource, then there's no reason to guard it.
Right.
So it's not just correcting her every time the dog comes over. It's actually when the dog comes over, good girl, that's a good girl, right? See, nothing bad's happening. Dogs around, you get extra love. As soon as you push it though, and you act growly or you act weird, oops, that disqualifies you. Get off, out, place, good,
Okay.
yes. So you could literally interrupt her from a resource guarding moment by kicking her off, and then immediately you're guiding her to place, and then immediately even releasing her. In that 3-second experience would reset her her mind. So you can, again, punish the stuff you don't want and add discomfort till it stops. But if it keeps happening, she's reverting back to the behavior, that's where you want to use an obedience something to anchor her into after correction.
Such as?
Sit, place.
Okay.
Now, a question: Does this stuff come off at night?
Yeah. You can take it off whenever.
But I mean, I'd like to have it all day, but like at nighttime we can have it because she sleeps
Sure.
with me and.
Yeah, you take the pinch collar. So those are great when you're on a leash.
Yep.
Great. You have pulling problems, let's share the pain. When you pull, it's uncomfortable. The harder you pull, the more uncomfortable it is.
Okay.
So she's
I was nervous about the pinch collars. I saw them on some of your videos with the dogs, and I'm like, oh my god! I said, it's cruel. In my own head.
And so it is cruel if you do it wrong.
Right.
And we don't do it wrong. And so we do it in the way that I already explained to you, which is you already have a goal that you want to go to. Let me introduce this as a guide to the goal. And familiarize you to it, and then I'll use it as a corrector back to the goal. And so it kind of it creates fluency in what it is. She knows what to do with it. And the reality is dogs don't really care that much about that, like, sensation, really. Like, some dogs will pull you, like, in it anyways. They don't care.
Yeah.
But it amplifies your messaging on the leash. And if she's yanking your shoulder out of socket, then she doesn't care at all. And it's actually, a flat collar is like an agitation collar. So, like, her pulling on a flat collar, there's no downside.
Yeah.
She's just like, well, I just have to pull to get where I want. There's no downside to it.
Yeah.
You have the pinch collar, now there's actually a downside to pulling.
Okay.
And so, but I can take the pinch collar off right now because there's a remote collar on. But if I was to take the remote collar off, then maybe I would want to put the pinch collar on or that little slip collar.
Okay.
So it's more about strategically using your leverage and not accidentally having no leverage when you need it. You have multiple forms, right? So you can use the slip lead, which is you have pressure and release. This is pressure and release, right? So when she pulls, pressure activates. When she stops pulling, pressure deactivates.
Okay.
If you ask for a sit, you can say sit, and then she doesn't. Well, you ask again with pressure, sit, and then it can be very, very subtle and gentle. You ask a third time, sit, and then when she complies, good, pressure's released.
Gotcha.
So this is great for manual leash pressure to increase, and you can be decreasing too. The remote allows you to do that as well, right? So this is a good collar for a fearful dog who spooks and flees and is really flighty, because that's a dog who's constantly being influenced by pain and discomfort from the environment. And she's like, oh no, painful. She runs and she's like, I don't care about this, I have to pull. And so now all of a sudden you have this, like, as she's like, oh, that's scary. And she runs and she hits the leash, she's like, oh, that's not good either. And then she's with you and you're like, good. And she's like, okay, I'll stick with you. So, so the leash is great guidance. By no means is it just like a bad tool.